This tutorial discusses Python graphical user interface programming. Python provides various options for developing graphical user interfaces. We have lots of them, but the most important one, the standard ones, are the ones that are listed below. TK-Inter. It is the Python interface to the TK GUI toolkit shipped with Python. TK means toolkit interface. Then the second one is WX Python. This is an open source Python interface for WX Windows. You can find that one in the URL below. Then the third one is JPython. JPython is a Python port for Java, which gives Python scripts seamless access to Java class libraries on the local machine. Then you can find the URL below. Then TK interface is Python's standard cross-platform package for creating graphical user interfaces. It provides access to an underlying TCL interpreter with the TK, that is toolkit, which itself is a cross-platform multi-language graphical user interface library. TK Inter isn't the only GUI library for Python. We have so many other libraries that are using for graphical user interface Python programming. But it is one that comes standard. It's one that comes standard out of several Python GUI library. You have TK Inter is the most standard out of all of them. So additional GUI libraries that can be used with Python include WX Python, PyQt, and Kiwi. So TK Inter's greatest strength is its ubiquity and simplicity. It works out of the box on most platforms. It is cross-platform. You can get it on, you can use it Linux, macOS, Windows, all platforms, and comes complete with a wide range of widgets. Necessary for most common tasks: buttons, labels, drawing canvas, multi-line text, menu, and etc. As a learning tool, TK Inter has some features that are unique among GUI toolkits, such as named fonts, bind tags, and variable tracing. So we're talking about installation and setup. TK Inter comes pre-installed with Python installer binaries for Mac OS and Windows platform. So if you are using Mac OS or you are using Windows, the moment you download your Python and you install it on your machines, TK Inter is pre-installed. So I'm going to show us how to check with our IDLE. Then we can say it. So if you install Python from the official binaries for macOS or Windows, you are good to go with TK Inter. Then for Debian versions of Linux, for Debian version of Linux and some other flavor of Linux, we have to install TK Inter. So these are the commands for installing it, and for Python 3 and Python 2.7. So verifying installation to verify if you have successfully installed TK Inter. You can open your Python console and type the following command: for Python 3 version and for Python 2 version. Okay, so we'll be testing the application. If you have successfully installed TK Python, if the above command executes without any error. So to check the Tinker version, you are making use of, type the following commands in your Python rep. But I'll be making use of, because I'm making use of Windows machine, I'll be testing this on my Windows machine using IDLE that come pre-installed with Python on Windows machine. We have lots of IDEs to use. We have PyCharm, we have Atom, we have Sublime, we have VS Code, we have so many of them. But basically, I'll be using IDLE to demonstrate some of the examples we are going to work with in this tutorial. But subsequent tutorials, we are going to be using VS Code, IDLE, PyCharm, and others. So we'll be checking some of these components. So I'm going to show us all these 10 components. We are going to test it, but I have Python 3 version installed on my system. I'm going to show us how to check the version of your Python, the version of Python running on your Windows machine. So note, importing TK as TK is not required, but it is a good practice as it helps keep things consistent between the version. So before I move on, before I introduce us to Python GUI components, the difference between when you want to import TK TK inter into Python 3 based machine and the Python 2 is just the capital letter T. When you are running Python 2 on your machine and you want to make use of TK inter, you are going to capitalize the T. But when you are running Python 3 version on your system, you are going to be making use of lowercase t. That's just the difference. That's just the difference between the two of them. It's the same line of code, but when you import it, you import TK inter with lowercase t on the Python 3, but you import TK inter with capital T on Python 2. So we have the following are some of the components of TK inter. That is Python GUI components. We have TK label, we have TK button, we have TK frame, we have TK scroll bar, we have TK combo box, we have TK menu button, we have TK check button, we have TK list box, we have TK scale, we have TK menu, we have TK entry, and we have TK canvas. We are going to be checking all of this. We are going to be practicalizing all of this. And like I told us, I'll be making use of my IDLE. So let me show you. Come to your search menu and type IDLE. That's the Python shell. That's the Python shell that comes with your Python when you install Python on your machine. So once you bring it up, just open new file. Once it's up, open a new file with it, and then when you open a new file, you can type import TK inter as TK. Now we want to test TK dot test. It's it's a function. It's a function. So I've already written it in. I'm just showing you how to do that. So let me run it. Run the module. So when you run it, yeah, this is it, because I did not specify the size. So I'm going to show us how to do that. So this is the test. This is TCL TK version 8.6. It's telling us that the version that we have on this machine is 8.6. So if I click, because I did not specify any message, so it won't show anything. But when you click quit, it's going to stop the program from being running. Okay, so this stuff I'm going to, the second example I'll be showing us, is this my first GUI. That is, you have your you import your library tk inter as tk, then the win tk dot tk, that's a function, then the title, my first GUI, then the win dot main loop. So let me run it and let's see how what this guy will look like. So we can see it. This is it. So let me just expand it a bit so that we see the title. So this is my first GUI. Just run this without anything inside it. Okay, so the next one I'll be showing us, it's I will showing us the button, the TK button, what it looks like, then I'll be giving it some sizes. Now if you look at this, this is from TK inter import all the libraries inside TK inter. So from TK inter import message box. So we're making use of message box in this application. Now the next thing is top.geometry. So I'm giving the GUI, I'm giving it a size of 200 by 200. So I have a function here, def hello callback. That's the name of our function. So message msg, that's message equals to message box dot show info. So once you click, then this is the message the guy is going to show. So the b equals to button dot top and all of that. So this is the application. So let me just run it. Now this is the application. So once I click it, you can see the message. So the message is displayed in a message box, hello TK inter button. So that's just what the application is all about. So let me run it again so that you can have a okay. I want to get rid of this guy. No, not yet. So let me put this guy aside so that I can show us this. Now click me. This is the button. You call this button. This is click me button. Then when you click it, the message box displays, and the button inside this guy and the environment, the place where you place your button. The environment is, you place it x equals to 50 and y equals to 50. That's the location on the geometry. Okay, the next one is check button. So check button, so we want to see how it looks like. So let me run this guy. Wow. So this is our checkbox. This is our checkbox. We only have Python 2, and Python 3. You can see I check it. So with all this stuff. You can see what the guy is giving us. Good. So let me move on to the next one. Next one is GUI Canvas. We want to see how our GUI Canvas will look like. We are still making use of the same library. From TK Inter, import everything you have inside there. So master equals to TK, W equals to canvas, then we give it a length, the size, width equals to 200, height equals to 100, then W pack. So let me run this guy. If you don't want it to have infinite loop, so you call this library main loop. Without this main loop, this stuff, let me do away with this so that we have an idea of what I'm talking about here. Let me comment this guy out. I'm trying to comment it out. Just hold on. So let me comment it out and let's run it without. Okay, okay. So let's now see what this guy will give us with this. Beautiful. So this is this. You can see the color, the yellow, then our hexadecimal code. This same color we have army green, then yellow. So this is what this guy, it creates line and the rectangle, 4 lines and rectangle at an angle with all those specifications. Let me pick the next one. So we have canvas, another canvas. We want to see another canvas, creating line and the coordinates. Wow, look at this. We have an arc, then a line across the arc. The environment, the whole environment is red in color, then the arc is pink, and the straight line is white. Give it a white color. Give it a white. You can see pink. Then the line it created is white. Meanwhile, the background color for the canvas is red. So the next one, we want to do button example. And show us example of buttons. Example of buttons. So you can pause the video and check so that you'll be able to type all these codes out. Beautiful. So you have buttons, you have OK, you have close. OK and close. So this is what we have, and we're able to put them in a position, right, and we put one on the right, the two of them on the right actually, but what we have on them, one is OK and the other one is close. That is the text on the button. We're able to do that. So the next one is button, another button. Just try to lay our hands on as many of them as possible. So we have quit, we have hello button. So when you click hello button, there's a message saying TK Inter is easy to use. That's the message it sends when you click hello button. Then when you click quit, do you want to, your program is still running, do you want to kill it? I mean, that means, do you want to terminate the program? And it meant to say okay, then you terminate it. So the next one is entry. Let's see what the entry looks like. Entry is it's a text box. As we have our first name. I'm trying to expand it. Okay, good. We have a text box. Text box. You can type in your name, Samuel Samuel David. So let me just type my name. Adeolu Olusegun. So that's my name. So you can see how it looks like. Okay, beautiful. So that's the end of our tutorial today. The next one we are going to do I'll be taking us through how to use Python GUI to create a calculator, a basic calculator. Please subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification button so that when I upload new videos you get notified. Thank you, and see you some other time. Bye.